So one of the first things that we're going to do is get these rock tumblers fired up. And so the first one that we're going to do, this first load, I'm going to fill up 4 of these, and there'll be 4 different videos, but is going to be all of the pieces of Bowenite from this. So this is a bunch of different videos that we've done, and each one of these rocks that you see here has been tested, meaning that I put it onto the saw and did a little slice out of it and backlit it and got good color out of it. There's actually some there that are going in a video soon. And so this we know is all Bowenite and the general clarity of the pieces, and so they're all of a grade that can go into the supply pile for that stuff. And left over from that, or I don't know if I should say left over or just the result of that, was an entire pile of little slabs. So all of these are already thin enough to be made into something or used for jewelry or something. And so I figured we have so many of them and so much of this, instead of doing it one by hand, why don't we just put them into the tumbler, let it go through its different stages, and then we'll see what is left. This is a really softer, this stone is softer than other stones, so not incredibly soft, but to the point where you want to watch it and establish the length of time that you leave each cycle, or it will just grind itself down and down into smaller and smaller pieces. So general rule of thumb when you're tumbling rocks for the grit is 2 level teaspoons per pound of rock. So I use 5-pound tumblers, that's what this is called, but it doesn't actually hold 5 pounds of rocks, because we're going to put, it's only going to be full like 2/3 of the way, and then there'll be space between the rocks that you put in there too. So I'm estimating usually you end up, and remember all rocks weigh different weights because of their mass, but usually you end up with about 2 pounds if you only fill them up 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way, however you want to look at it. So it's about 4 level teaspoons for the first main stages of it. So that's what we're going to do. Pop these in here, put some water in there and the grit, and then we'll get it going. So you can see it's about 2/3 of the way full. We're going to put water up to where it's just barely covering the rocks to where they're sticking out, so you make more of a slurry instead of like a hot cocoa or something out of it. So we end up, like I said, with just the tips of the rocks sticking out. So we're starting with the roughest grit, which is 6090 silicon carbide. And like I said, 4 teaspoons. I went a little light on that because these are a softer rock. Just like we'll modify the time that we let it spin to a shorter time, because I know it's a softer rock. By softer, I don't mean soapstony. I mean probably a 5.5 on the Mohs scale. So then all that's left to do is put the lid on there. Make sure you have a good seal and that your edge is all clean. Same thing here. Get it seated well. on the machine. Have not used this for a while, so we're going to go ahead and apply just a little bit of oil. That's right, use as a 3-in-1. If your thing is ever not spinning well, that's probably why. We're off and running. So we'll check in with this in a little bit and you'll be there if you stick around. Okay, so here we are in my kitchen. Just showing you real quick, I've pulled these out of their first stage. That was about 5 to 6 days of tumbling altogether, but they have already gotten pretty darn thin, a lot of them. So we're stopping there, and we're going to go a spoonful lighter in each of the mixes. Instead of 4 teaspoons, 2 for each pound, these being an estimated 4 pounds. We have probably dropped down to about 3 pounds at the max. So I'm going to do, 3 smaller teaspoons for this, for the final polishes. And we're only going to do probably 3 or 4 days max on each of the final stages of this. So it's going to go through pretty quick. I was showing you this inside because I wanted you to never put your stuff down the sink, but showing you that with a towel. And this is a reused piece of plastic from a pre-made salad mix, and so you can just use a minimal amount of water and rinse most of your stuff off, and then for that final part you can soap and water them under your sink. Just make sure that all of this is rinsed off them already. You can see what incredible amount there actually is. You can see the clear water, and then if I can tilt this, actually I should probably bring you down to it. I don't think you can tilt sediment, that doesn't work. So as we drop down the side here, you can see that dark area, that's all sediment. So this was the water that we used to rinse. That, even though we only put in 3 teaspoons of grinding powder, is the rest of the fine sediment that came off of all over rock. So that can accumulate like a really compact mud in the bottom of your curves of your drains and your sinks. So don't put that in there. You actually see it slosh around underneath there. Literally a 1/4 inch of goo. So that take and put outside somewhere where animals won't drink it, and don't pour it directly onto your salad leaves or anything like that. That would be a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and put the next level of grit in here, the next finest level of grit, and seal it back up and get it spinning, and we will continue this video. We are down to the final stage that I do with a final ingredient that I put in there, and it's gone for another 5, 6, 7 hours, something like that, and we're about to dump it off and look at what their finish is. Oh, wow. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. That's a lot of things that could be made in a lot of things, and first it's going to be a really beautiful light show. So stay tuned. I think it was me, buddy. Sorry. Good job, though. It's me, buddy. shine. That's our shine. So you could buff this a little bit more on the wheel. But it's about what I've been able to get with this, with the grits that I'm using and the time that I put in. Doesn't seem to be any different with any of the techniques. Maybe a little bit more shinier this time because I was carefuler with my earlier stages. But yeah, that's about the average gloss coming out of a tumbler for this stone. And like I said, you can ramp it up by putting on a buffer wheel. So for some of these, they're just gorgeous green. I think that we will be doing that. Let me get some light behind these. I'm going to listen to some music and quickly kind of paw through a huge pile of shapes and colors here with me. I'll look at the details. So, yeah, we have a lot of material to work with, and as you can see from the video before this, I started to already draw hooks on some of them and different shapes, and I have those over here. So these are ones that I think will lend themselves naturally to being pendants, and or I am going to take some hook shapes out of, as well as this, which has nothing to do with this video. These are slabs from a previous thing. And that is a project that you'll have to see me do in a future video. I'm not going to try and fit that one in here, and I have not even started it, besides daydreaming the shapes onto the stones with some indelible marker. So stay tuned on that, and the best way to be notified about a video like that you might be interested in would be to subscribe. It's free, and it just sends you notifications when we put out a video at the channel. It's also a great boost to me as a creator. Okay. Thank you for joining me on this one. Take care of yourselves, and if you get the chance, take care of each other. Quest on.